Hi friends, my name is Bhavya Mangla. I'm IITF qualified auditor doing audit for the automotive sector for the last 19 years. I'm again back with a very interesting topic, and today I'm going to talk about daily work management, DWM. And by the time this topic will be over, you will understand what exactly is DWM, why it is important, what exactly is the purpose of it, what are the different challenges that industry faces with respect to DWM, and what can be done so that DWM can be effectively implemented. Well, if you talk about DWM, then it is implemented in our day-to-day life. Say, for example, talk about the Football World Cup. Now, every country want to be a part of that particular team which is going to play the World Cup, and they want to win that. But then that's a very bigger goal. What needs to be done on day-to-day basis? So it's important that every day what a player has to do, maybe in gym, maybe what kind of food has to eat, what kind of time he has to spend in the ground, what kind of education he has to take with respect to football. And there are so many things which a person has to do each and every day. And when a footballer is going to do that each and every day, there is a possibility that after 4 years, that team will be in the World Cup finals and they can win the World Cup also. Something similar can be said with respect to education also. Maybe a child wants to appear for a engineering exam. Now that is a bigger perspective. Now to achieve that, what has to be done daily? So maybe there's a timetable of, say, for example, 8 to 10 hours. So in that, the child has to study physics, chemistry, maths, English, how much time has to be done, what has to be done with writing, and there are so many things which are there which has to be done on daily basis so that the higher goal of getting an admission in any good engineering college can be met. Something similar happens in any industrial environment wherein we talk about daily work management. Well, someone has very rightly said that we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act but a habit. Well, if I talk about the definition of daily work management, so primarily the intent is that we have to decide that what we need to do each and every day, what are the different activities that we need to do, so that whatever is a higher goal, we can achieve that. That is called simply a daily work management. To talk more about it, someone has very rightly said that it is not enough to be busy. The question is what we are busy with. In an organization, primarily there are two kind of key roles. One is at a bigger level, wherein we need to achieve some bigger goals, and the second is that how to achieve that goal, what needs to be done with respect to that. If I talk with respect to some Japanese terminology, when we talk about strategy deployment, we are talking about Hoshin Kanri. But when we talk about daily work management, the word is Nichido Kanri. So it's a combination of both Hoshin Kanri and Nichido Kanri, that there is something, a bigger strategy goal that we need to implement. Now to implement that or to sustain that, what we are doing on daily work management. In other words, when we talk about strategy deployment or some big improvement, we are talking about PDCA. It's talking about improvement, plan, do, check, and act. Now, to sustain that, there is another word. Instead of PDCA, we call it SDCA, standardize, do, check, and act. So they both are complementary to each other. When we are looking for big improvement, we talk about PDCA. When we talk about sustenance, we are talking about SDCA. Well, someone has very rightly said on this particular thing, and as per Mike Rother, who is the author of Toyota Kata, he said that everything deteriorates over time. There is no stable condition that can be maintained. The only solution is to improve the continuity constantly, which can be done. Say, for example, let's take an example of a company who has implemented TPM, Total Production Maintenance, and they have achieved an award from GIPM also. Now, after achieving the award, in case it is not being maintained on a routine basis, there is a very high possibility that thing will slide down, and then it will again be a very routine kind of organization. So there the role of daily work management comes. And there sometimes you must have heard that terminology CLIT, cleaning, lubrication, inspection, and tightening. That needs to be done by the operator on daily basis so that whatever has been planned can be achieved. If you want to understand from a bigger perspective, if you can see a picture, you'll find that first of all, we talk about innovation. So when we talk about innovation, primarily it is a role of top management and executives and maybe the middle management who have to work on innovation. Then, once the innovation has been done, the second thing is Kaizen. When we talk about Kaizen, primarily it is about improvement. That whatever innovation we have done, we have to regularly do something on daily basis. That is called Kaizen. So maybe in that purpose, we can go to the lower level also, which where we can include the team leader also, and maybe some part with the team member also. But the most important part is to sustain that. So while sustaining it, the role of standardized work, or when we talk about daily work management, also comes. So that brings a very interesting question that what is the purpose of daily work management? So the intent is to avoid any surprises, to make sure that the recurring problem should not come. In case we have implemented 5S, then whether it is effectively implemented or not. In case we have done some maintenance activities on the machine, so whether the machines are working properly or not, whether the operator mistakes are happening, either any month-end pressures are there, and there can be so many problems for which there is always a requirement that organization should implement daily work management. So when we talk about daily work management, as I said earlier, I also talked about SDCA, standardize, do, check and act. So when we talk about standardization, what does it mean? So when we talk about standardization, it means that we have to standardize that what is the goal that we want to achieve. Maybe what are the different documents that we should have, what are the different procedures, what are the processes, and other specification which should be done on each and every day. We have to standardize that. There should be a procedure for that, there should be a SOP for that, there should be a responsible person, a target date, everything needs to be defined. Once that is done, the next step comes about doing it, wherein we actually implement what all the procedures that we have. Then the third part is about checking. Then we check that whether we have achieved what we have specified in a standardization or not. And then action part is to see that whether any improvement is required, and if not, then whatever has been implemented, that should be standardized effectively. To give a very simple example, say for example, we thought that we should achieve a certain target of production at the end of 1 year. Now to achieve that target of 1 year, say for example, we talk about 1 million pieces. What we have to do every month, that is the next target. So every month we have to have some target so that we can achieve ultimate target of 1 million pieces. Now every month also has to be bifurcated into 1 week. That every week what we are going to do. So it means there are 52 weeks, what we have to do in each and every week so that we can achieve the overall target of 12 months. Now to achieve the target of 12 months or 1 week, we need to see that what we need to do every day. Now in every day also there are 3 shifts. So in each shift what we have to do. Then each shift also what each person has to do. So it means what one person is going to do on a particular shift is going to make sure that what we are going to achieve in 12 months. So that is about daily work management. Then one very important thing to understand if you look into the graph is that both PDCA and SDCA, they work together with each other, in tandem with each other. Whenever we are looking for an improvement, we have PDCA or a Deming cycle wherein we achieve something, but once we achieve something, we also need to stabilize that, and there comes SDCA or the daily work management, and then this particular cycle continues. Then another question that comes in picture is that when we talk about daily work management, what does it includes? So in an organization, anything and everything that we are doing for improvement becomes a part of daily work management. So for example, it can be with respect to your performance indicators. It can be about standard operating procedures. When we talk about PDCA, plan to check it, 5S, maybe any problem solving technique, maybe any cross-functional team, any layered audit. It could be a Gamba work. It could be about monitoring the MPCPs. It can be anything, whatever is planned, whatever we are doing on daily basis, that becomes a part of daily work management. And certainly when things are implemented effectively, there are so many benefits that organization can get. Some of them includes that whatever is the data, we can always compare with respect to that what has been achieved or not. We can achieve the customer demand. Maybe the quality will improve, the process variation will certainly reduce. It will help the organization to have a effective problem solving techniques, standardize the way in which organization manages everything, and then prevent any surprises which are there in the organization. Well, there are certain challenges which are there in industry also. The first and the foremost is that how often daily work management is systematically and effectively implemented in the organization. Because at times it is generally being seen that just put some tick mark on a checklist is called daily work management. It is not so. When we talk about SDCA, it is just the C part of it. But there are many things that needs to be planned and implemented. The second important challenge is that what is the role of top management? How much top management is involved in making sure that daily work management is effectively not only institutionalized but effectively implemented in the organization? That's a big challenge that is there in all the organizations. So if I do a summary, I talked about what exactly is daily work management, why it is important, how to effectively implement it, what is the key difference between PDC and SDCA to understand the role of daily work management with respect to the improvement that is happening in the organization, which are the places where we can do daily work management, and what are the benefits that organization can get out of that. Well, my next video will again little bit more in deep talk about the difference between PDCA and SDCA. Regularly, I'm getting a lot of feedback from your side and they're helping me to understand your expectations. So please do continue that. And in case you are liking these kind of videos and blogs, you can always share with your friends and colleagues, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and my website, bhavyamangla.com. Thank you.